We all do it. Fish sleep, worms sleep, even the brainless Hydra vulgaris jellyfish sleeps. But not all sleep is created equal, especially in the animal kingdom. Some animals barely sleep at all. Some never fully turn their brains off, and some even sleep with one eye open. I'll tell you all about it right after my nap. Hey, I'm Miranda Cosgrove, and welcome to my STEM Loft, where they don't have any phone chargers, so we gotta get started soon. I'm on 1%. There's a good chance your sleep last night went like this. You got cozy, closed your eyes, and your brain locked in and cycled through non-REM and REM stages. REM stands for rapid eye movement because your eyes are actually moving behind your eyelids during these periods of sleep. During REM, when our brains are the most active, our bodies temporarily paralyze our muscles so we don't act out our dreams. That rhythm of REM and non-REM sleep helps repair the brain, consolidate memories, and regulate the body. And if you've mastered sleep, you got those vital 7+ hours. The animals with the closest sleep habits to humans are great apes, like gorillas and chimps. They typically sleep around 9 to 10 hours, build their own versions of beds, and sleep in one long block at night while their brains REM it up just like ours. How do we know? Electroencephalograms, or EEGs. EEGs are science tools that measure electrical activity in the brain using little discs connected to wires that sit on the outside of your head. It lets scientists listen to what's happening in your head. The type of sleep both us and great apes experience is bihemispheric sleep, where both halves of your brain power down together. But elephant seals take bihemispheric sleep to another level. On land, they get over 10 hours of sleep per day, cycling through full non-REM and REM stages. But once it's time to go on their long foraging trip at sea, their sleep cycle gets kinda weird. The seals spend many months out in the open ocean hunting for food, meaning they have to figure out how to sleep while away from a resting spot on land. While diving really deep into the ocean, they're actively asleep. They even go into full REM, and scientists know exactly how they do this from measuring their brain activity in the wild. During those long months, they sleep only about 2 hours a day, not in one long block like us, but in slow wave sleeps for about 10 minutes at a time, often during deep 30-minute dives. When they enter REM sleep, the paralysis kicks in, and they drift downward in a sleep spiral, going deeper and deeper into the ocean where predators can't reach them, sometimes lying motionless on the sea floor. But sleeping lying down, fully unconscious with both halves of the brain offline, is actually the exception, not the rule. Because in the animal kingdom, sleep comes in many forms. Some animals use unihemispheric sleep, where one half of their brain sleeps while the other stays awake. One eye closes and the other stays open. Breathing continues and danger is still detected. This is the elephant seal's cousin, the fur seal. They're unihemispheric sleepers. In the water, fur seals need to stay afloat, but also rest. So they go into unihemispheric sleep. One eye stays open to watch for sharks and orcas. They move one flipper to float so they can keep their nostrils above water to breathe, while the other half of the brain rests to recoup. Then, when they go back to land, they switch back to full bihemispheric sleep, complete with long blocks and deep rest. Same animal with two completely different sleep modes unlocked. Nice. But even unihemispheric sleep varies from species to species. Birds have their own extreme version of it. The great frigatebird can fly over the ocean for up to 10 days straight without landing and still manage to sleep. How do we know? Scientists attached miniature EEG sensors to their little bird skulls, tracking electrical activity in each hemisphere of the brain. They combined that with GPS, altitude logger, and accelerometer data to measure flight movement. What they found is that frigatebirds sleep with one brain hemisphere at a time, to stay alert during their naps. For these birds, the eye opposite the awake side of the brain stays open towards the direction of the flight and watches for potential threats, which means the eye on the asleep side stays closed. The EEG even shows that the slow waves in the sleeping hemisphere were similar to those observed in land-based birds, meaning they still got some of the same benefits of deep sleep, but just in shorter bursts. Each sleep episode lasts only about 12 seconds. Combine these micro naps and you get around 0.69 hours of sleep per day. If only I could have done the same thing when pulling an all-nighter studying for a big calculus test. It really is an incredible feat. Think about it. This study showed that sleep doesn't have to mean full immobility or total brain shutoff. Frigatebirds can maintain alertness, control flight, and still get those cognitive and physiological benefits of sleep, even if they do come from micro naps. Speaking of micro naps, this is the Chinstrap penguin. While nesting in Antarctica, parents take 4-second micro sleeps throughout the day and night. This sleep strategy allows them to stay alert and watch over their eggs and babies while still getting the total amount of rest they need. About 11 hours a day, a crucial adaptation to having to raise their chicks in a noisy, busy colony under 24 hours of sunlight. On land, some of the world's largest animals also sleep surprisingly little. Wild African elephants have the shortest sleep time of any mammal, averaging about 2 hours per day, with some matriarchs of the herd staying awake for several days, but not in a block. They also take naps for a few minutes at a time throughout the day, all while standing up. And when they do get the chance to sleep, they go into REM just like humans do. They even sleep lying down rather than on their feet, like they do during their short naps. On the opposite end of the spectrum are some professional sleepers like bats, armadillos, and possums. The most extreme of the long sleepers is the little brown bat. This tiny guy spends most of the day hanging upside down, sleeping for up to 18 hours a day. Can you imagine sleeping more than you're awake? The long sleep is important so they can recharge after darting around and hunting insects. But wait, don't some animals that sleep for months during hibernation have them beat? Well, yes and no. Hibernation isn't sleep. It's a different state of lowered body temperature and metabolic activity which allows animals to survive difficult environments and conserve energy until it's safe to return to the outside world. That moment when everything you thought you knew about hibernation was a lie. Hibernating animals don't have to eat and can have a heartbeat as low as just a few beats per minute, while someone like me typically has a heartbeat of 40 to 50 beats per minute when sleeping. It puts the body in a much deeper rest. However, both hibernation and sleep are survival tools. In any brain, sleep helps clear toxins, supports physical and cognitive health, and keeps neural connections flexible by pruning and strengthening the lengths between nerve cells. Even animals with tiny brains, or no brains at all, need some sort of rest to recoup. Yes, even those with no brains, like worms, alternate between periods of activity and rest. When worms sleep, they stop moving as much and don't react to things around them as quickly. Scientists observed these distinct, reversible behavioral changes, like reduced movement, feeding and responsiveness, and identified specific neural circuits and chemical signals that control their sleep-like state. See, sleep is even crucial for worms with no eyes or brains for survival, because lack of sleep can prevent creatures from performing some crucial activities, like waggle dancing. Yes, waggle dance is a real scientific term. The waggle dance is a complex figure-8 move that honeybees do to communicate the precise distance, direction, and quality of food sources to their fellow worker bees. In order to do so, bees need to sleep in short, frequent bouts, totaling 5 to 8 hours per day, often resting in flowers or hanging from twigs with folded legs, still antennae, and relaxed bodies. Even with their eyes open, this rest allows them to recharge for a full day of waggle dancing. When honeybees are sleep deprived, their dances become less accurate, disrupting communication and reducing the colony's foraging success. I also need enough sleep to make sure I can do my best random dancing. So there you have it. Sleep is universal. From worms with no brains to humans with brains, all styles from micronaps to long stretches, sleep is essential for survival. And studying how animals sleep can help scientists understand the brain, prevent fatigue, and even improve human health. Good night. Hey, it's Miranda Cosgrove, your favorite host of Mission Unstoppable. I'm the only host. And if you want to watch awesome STEM videos and exclusive Mission Unstoppable clips, just make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell.